Hey guys, this is Tony with Geek Designs. Today I'm back with another Geek podcast. Today I got to sit down with Greg from Embla. I've been following them for a while on Instagram. They've been doing 3D printing in a different way than I've seen it been done before. They've been using it to do masters for molds, and they've been doing candles. They did soaps at one point. They did custom work. And I wanted to sit down with them, talk about 3D printing, talk about what they do, and get a better understanding of their process and how they use design. They got some pretty killer shapes and stuff, and I wanted to understand their perspective, their understanding, and yeah, I think this is a good one. It's a little bit different than the usual interviews and the usual topics I discuss on this podcast, but I think you guys will get something out of this, and here you go. Also, stay to the end, and you'll be able to figure out where to follow these guys. So here you go. Hope you enjoy it. So, starting out, tell us who you are and what you.
My name is Greg Perkins. I studied 3D modeling at Academy of Art University, and from there I taught myself 3D printing, and that basically snowballed into starting Embla.
So, I think I told you this when first contacted you guys, but I've been following you for a while. I've been following you since like you did the walk on holders. What got you into doing can or soaps and then candles?
So basically, when I got a 3D printer, I realized that you couldn't really use it for mass production. So I started thinking about ways that you could kind of optimize the production capabilities there. And so I thought, what if you just molded and casted each 3D print, and then that's how you went about the production.
Right.
And then so I started by trying to cast urethane and resin, and then eventually we got some employees, and we tried like metal, and we're doing soap and chocolate, and we basically narrowed it down to candles being the best material to work with, and you can kind of come into the workplace and like the smells that you're smelling opposed to the fumes that come out of metal.
Right. Um, so
So you guys use a lot of 3D printers, and there was a big 3D boom earlier, a couple years ago, and now it seemed to die off. Where do you see 3D printing going? Do you think it's found its niche? Where do you think it's gonna lie now?
currently,
Uh, I would say that it's gonna it will come back in various ways. I would say. Obviously, it wasn't for printing everything like everyone originally thought it was going to be.
right.
You can't just print anything you want, and in record time. It has to be a long, tedious process, unfortunately. And
Right.
so the meritocracy of it is that the things that actually work using 3D printing are the ones that will stick around, and the ones that were just kind of on the fantasy of being able to 3D print anything, they'll unfortunately go away.
Okay. Um,
So, like I said, when I initially reached out to you guys, I've been watching your Instagram stories for a while, and you kind of show the day-to-day process of what it goes into making one of your candles. Can you kind of explain that process because it kind of seems like an in-depth process of how you make your candles?
Yeah, well, so they'll start in 3D modeling software. We'll have to usually someone like a lot of the time will be me will design it on a piece of paper, and then bring it to life in the 3D modeling software. And then from there we'll 3D print out what we call the master, and then with that we'll mold it, create a silicon mold around it, and then we'll take the 3D print out and fill up that cavity with the candle wax once we put the wick in. And from there, a lot of the candle forums when I was learning about this would say that you're not allowed to freeze candles. So we've definitely challenged some of the notions there by there's kind of like a sweet spot where you can freeze it and it doesn't crack, and so that also
right.
speeds up the whole workflow if you actually freeze them. And so that's pretty much one of the last steps of the process. And then the very last part is obviously inserting the Embla token. I've got one right here actually. So this is our pentagon candle.
Okay. Yeah.
So this would be molded and cast from a 3D print, and then once it comes out of the freezer, we put this Embla token in, and so people will send us 5 of these, and then we'll send them a free candle of the same design back.
Right.
And then obviously there's all the hand cleanup and everything, so we have to do a few things to make sure it's like a nice piece to have in someone's home.
Right.
So your candles have a pretty unique shape and design. I've also seen the packaging you guys use for your candles, and it's pretty sick packaging. So how much design actually go into your work at Embla?
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, we just sold out of all our packaging, so we're just waiting for a big shipment to get to the warehouse area, and
Okay.
yeah, and so we actually just finished developing for all the candles now. We originally just had the diamond candle, and we spent months actually with that
Right.
designer. It's probably like the most over-engineered candles, I would say, because like even with these tokens, I had to like get the exact measurements of the edge of each token to the edge of the form or the geometry, and make sure they were even on each one, so they'll have to be uniform. And then the packaging is a whole different ballgame, which is we spent about 6 months fine tuning the packaging for all of them. We have to get all the little bits and pieces right that we put on the packaging, like where it's made, like in the US, and you know, to keep away from children, and all the warnings and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and design wise, it's just our graphic designer. Big shout out to Eric. He's just an amazing graphic designer, and he's really helped us take our aesthetic to the next level with packaging.
So I want to touch on the business end of things. At one point, you guys were doing one-off 3D prints, and then you were doing custom stuff, and now you're doing candles. How does one go from doing custom work to retail candle selling, and why do you do it?
So it started off. I was making these Wacom pen holders for artists. I'm guessing most people watching know what a Wacom pen is if they're a designer, but if not, it's just a stylus or a pen that you draw on a tablet with, and it comes up on the screen. And I was making the holders that the artists would put the pens in, and I was 3D printing those and selling them. For those of you just tuning in, and this is one of those. So this is once I stopped 3D printing them, I went to an actual place that could cast metal, and yeah, because people's pens always roll around the desk, and a lot of the time they'll lose them. So it kind of solves that problem too.
Right.
And so basically, we took we took the Wacom pen holders out, and then we thought at the time we thought we had to try and find something more niche. Less niche. So the Wacom pen holders could pretty much go in like a few select stores around each city. But we found that candles it's always been around. It's something that everyone wants, and you know, we could definitely get those in many stores in pretty much every city, because they're always around.
Right.
So yeah, that was definitely part of the influence, and now we're actually expanding to the whole home, and we're sourcing different products from around the world just recently in the last couple of weeks, and pretty much we're going to be bringing those guys back for those of you who don't know about that, and so they'll be back on the website. We had those hidden for a while, and only people who knew the exact URL could access that product, but people continued to somehow get them. Like I guess word got out about them or something, and so yeah, so we thought it just would make sense to bring those guys back.
That sounds good.
So what do you guys going on the future? You got you said you're expanding to the home. Are you expanding other products? What do you guys got coming down the pipeline?
Go ahead.
Well, we're going to expand out. So you know, we're kind of pairing that up with other home goods. So we'll have like wall art and vases and all these different things that can also be useful around the home. And yeah, so we curate a huge collection of them, and we'll kind of narrow it down over time to what we think the best products would be.
All right. Sounds pretty good.
So yeah.
that's kind of all I have for questions right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess tell everyone where they can find you, what you guys are doing, and yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. So if you're on Instagram, we're just at Embla Home. The website is emblahome.com. And that's the main thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Very nice to speak to you.